This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Halloween Podcast. I am your host, Lyle Perez, and you're listening to episode 41 of our special series, The Dark Record, where we uncover history's eeriest stories, one strange and unsettling case at a time. In southeastern Massachusetts, there is a patch of land unlike anywhere else in America. Stretching across forests, swamps, and small towns, it has gained a reputation as a place where legends converge. Within its borders, people have reported UFOs glowing in the sky, spectral figures rising from the marsh, cryptid creatures prowling the woods, and ancient spirits tied to the land itself. It has been called a hotbed of the paranormal, a place where the veil between worlds feels impossibly thin. The next entry into the dark record, the Bridgewater Triangle. Let's begin. The name Bridgewater Triangle was first coined in the 1970s by Loren Coleman. He used it to describe a region of about 200 square miles in southeastern Massachusetts, an area where reports of strange activity seem to cluster. On a map, the triangle's points fall roughly at the towns of Abington to the north, Freetown to the southeast, and Rehoboth to the southwest, with the town of Bridgewater lying near its center. Inside this boundary lies a dense patchwork of forest, swamp, and quiet communities, and, according to generations of witnesses, a landscape filled with the unexplained. At the heart of the triangle sits the Hockomock Swamp. The name comes from an Algonquin word often translated as place where spirits dwell. For the Wampanoag people, it was not just a hunting ground, but a site of deep spiritual significance. Archaeological evidence suggests that it was once used as a burial ground, adding layers of meaning to its reputation. Even before European colonists arrived, the swamp carried an air of the supernatural, a place tied to spirits and legends of the afterlife. Colonial settlement deepened that reputation. Battles during King Philip's War in the 1670s left scars across the landscape. The swamp, thick with fog and brambles, was said to conceal soldiers and swallow the wounded. Local stories claim the land itself carried a curse, its restless history leaking into the centuries that followed. By the time Coleman gave the region its ominous name, the legends were already entrenched, passed down through generations. What makes the Bridgewater Triangle unusual is not just one haunting, one cryptid, or one historical tale. It's the sheer variety of phenomena that locals and visitors have reported. Strange lights in the sky, glimpses of large hulking creatures, ghostly apparitions near stone formations and schools, ritual activity in the forests. Stories range from native folklore of mischievous pukwudgies, small, trickster-like spirits, to modern tales of UFO encounters. Over time, the triangle became more than geography. It became a framework, a way of explaining why so many different kinds of stories seem to come from the same stretch of land. Residents of Abington, Rehoboth, Freetown, and Bridgewater didn't necessarily use the term until Coleman popularized it, but the stories themselves were already there, rooted in place and memory. To some, the triangle is simply folklore given a new label, an example of how human beings look for patterns in scattered events. To others, it is a genuine hotspot of the unexplained, a place where geography, history, and the paranormal intersect. Whatever the truth, the Bridgewater Triangle stands out because it contains not just one mystery, but a mosaic of them layered over centuries. If the Bridgewater Triangle has a heart, it may be the haunted and often unsettling landmarks that dot its landscape. These places, scattered through the swamps and forests, have given rise to some of the region's most enduring stories. One of the most infamous is the Freetown Fall River State Forest, a 5,000-acre spread of rugged woodland. On its surface, it's a place for hiking trails and fishing ponds, but its reputation is far darker. Since the 1970s, stories have circulated of occult rituals, animal mutilations, and even murders linked to the forest. Rumors of cult activity ran rampant, fueled by real crimes that occurred in the area, gang killings, violent assaults, and suicides that stained the forest with tragedy. For many, it became a place where the ordinary woods seemed infused with menace, where the line between rumor and reality blurred. Not far from there stands Profile Rock, a natural stone formation said to resemble the profile of a human face. For generations, locals claimed to see ghostly figures perched upon the rock, including visions of native warriors. It became a spot tied to legend, a place where the past refused to stay buried. Visitors reported hearing whispers, feeling watched, and even seeing spectral forms illuminated against the stone at night. The triangle's haunted reputation extends into its communities as well. Bridgewater State University, the region's central institution of higher learning, has long been said to house its own ghosts. Students have reported footsteps echoing in empty corridors, doors slamming with no one near them, and the appearance of shadowy figures. To the young men and women who came there to study, the stories became part of campus lore, handed down like warnings to new arrivals. Another location wrapped in unease is the Taunton State Hospital, once a psychiatric institution. Its reputation stretched beyond medical care. Visitors and former staff spoke of disembodied voices, phantom touches, and unseen presences in its halls. During the 1960s and 70s, rumors spread that occult rituals had been performed in its abandoned wings, further blackening its image. Whether or not those stories were true, they added to the triangle's growing aura of dread. Even seemingly ordinary landmarks within the triangle carry legends. The Hornbein Schoolhouse, a small one-room school built in the 1840s, is said to be haunted by the laughter and footsteps of children long gone. The Solitude Stone, found near a 19th century suicide site, bears a carved inscription, a poem etched into granite that seems to speak directly to the despair of the man who died there. For some, the stone itself feels cursed, a lingering reminder of death given physical form. These locations, scattered across towns and forests, form the backbone of the triangle's reputation. Each one carries its own weight of tragedy, crime, or rumor. Taken together, they create a patchwork of haunted ground, a map of stories that no skeptic's dismissal has ever fully erased.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Do you love the strange, the unexplained, and the downright terrifying? Horrifying History takes you on a chilling journey into the dark corners of the past, where history and horror collide. From haunted places and ghostly legends to unsolved mysteries and terrifyingly true stories, you will uncover the twisted facts that history books leave out. Who were the real monsters behind infamous legends? What dark secrets lie buried in the pages of history? Every episode, we reveal the eerie truths that will send shivers down your spine. Are you brave enough to face the darkness? Horrifying History, available now wherever you listen to your podcasts. But don't wait for too long. The past might just come looking for you. Listen if you dare.
Beyond its haunted places, the Bridgewater Triangle is known for its menagerie of creatures and unexplained lights, phenomena that seem to step straight from folklore into modern witness accounts. Perhaps the most common reports involve strange lights in the sky. For decades, residents have described glowing orbs, bright flashes, and even structured craft moving silently over the swamps. Some accounts speak of balls of fire drifting just above the tree line, while others describe lights hovering in formation before vanishing in an instant. The sheer number of reports has made the area a hotspot for UFO enthusiasts, who point to the Triangle as one of New England's most active regions for unexplained aerial phenomena. On the ground, the stories take a darker turn. Witnesses have long reported encounters with Bigfoot-like creatures lurking in the forests. These hulking figures, often described as 7 feet tall with glowing red eyes, have been spotted around the Hockomock Swamp in particular. Some believe they are relics of a prehistoric age, while others see them as spirits tied to the land. The Wampanoag people's traditions speak of powerful beings dwelling in the swamp, and the idea of such creatures prowling its depths fits neatly into those older beliefs. Other animal sightings add to the strangeness. Locals have spoken of giant snakes, far larger than any native species, sliding through the marshes. Phantom panthers with glowing red eyes have also been reported, their roars echoing in the night, though no trace of them has ever been captured. Perhaps most startling are accounts of enormous thunderbirds, birds so massive they resemble pterodactyls, with wingspans large enough to blot out the sun. While skeptics dismiss these as misidentifications of eagles or herons, those who claim to have seen them insist they were something far more ancient and impossible. Layered into this tapestry of sightings are the Pukwudgies, trickster spirits from Wampanoag folklore. Said to be small, human-like beings capable of appearing and vanishing at will, they are known in legend for leading travelers astray, throwing stones, or even attacking with poisoned arrows. Some modern witnesses claim to have glimpsed them in the Triangle, tiny figures darting among the trees before vanishing into thin air. Whether seen as cultural myth or genuine encounter, the Pukwudgie legend adds a uniquely indigenous dimension to the Triangle's strange reputation. And then there are the spirit orbs, glowing spheres of light seen drifting through the Hockomock Swamp at dusk. Some appear bluish or white, others orange or red, moving slowly as though guided by unseen hands. To skeptics, they are swamp gas or reflections of headlights. To believers, they are the souls of the dead, still haunting the land that once held sacred meaning. Taken together, these cryptids and lights create a sense that the Bridgewater Triangle is not simply haunted by memory, but alive with active, ongoing phenomena. In a place where UFOs, ghosts, monsters, and folklore collide, it becomes difficult to separate the natural from the supernatural, or to know where legend ends and reality begins. The question that lingers over the Bridgewater Triangle is simple. Why here? Why this patch of land barely 200 square miles across, filled with so many overlapping stories of ghosts, monsters, and lights in the sky? To locals, the answer often lies in the land itself. At the heart of the triangle sits the Hockomock Swamp, a vast and tangled wetland that has long been considered mysterious. To the Wampanoag people, it was sacred ground, both a hunting territory and a spiritual site. Archaeological digs have uncovered burial grounds within its boundaries, and the very name Hockomock, often translated as place where spirits dwell, reflects its reputation. The swamp was believed to be tied to Hobomok, a powerful deity of death and the underworld in Algonquian tradition. For native peoples, the swamp was never just mud and water. It was a place where spirits lived, a threshold between the seen and the unseen. When European settlers arrived, they viewed the swamp differently. To them, it was an obstacle, a dangerous and foreboding place that swallowed men, animals, and wagons whole. During King Philip's War in the 1670s, it became a hiding place for Wampanoag fighters and a battlefield soaked in blood. The violence of that conflict and the devastating losses it brought to both sides helped cement the swamp's reputation as cursed. To this day, some say the land still carries the weight of those tragedies. Over the centuries, the aura of the triangle grew with each new story. Reports of unusual animal sightings, hauntings, or UFOs did not exist in isolation. They were layered over an already haunted landscape. What might have been dismissed elsewhere as coincidence or imagination became part of a larger narrative. Each tale of a ghostly figure, each unexplained light in the sky, was absorbed into the region's identity, reinforcing the idea that something about the land itself was different. Modern observers point to more grounded explanations. The swamp's dense geography can play tricks on the senses. Strange lights may be natural gases, misidentified aircraft, or reflections in the water. Animal sightings may stem from exaggeration or the rare appearance of out-of-place species. And the region's long history of crime, cult rumors, and tragedy only adds to its unsettling reputation. The human mind, always hungry for meaning, weaves these scattered threads into a cohesive legend. Yet legends have power. Books, documentaries, and ghost tours now carry the Bridgewater Triangle's stories far beyond Massachusetts. Researchers and enthusiasts return again and again, drawn to the possibility that this is a true hotspot of paranormal energy. Skeptics dismiss it as folklore, but folklore itself is history in another form, an accumulation of belief and memory tied to a place. Perhaps the triangle is not haunted because of any one cause, but because it has become a vessel, a place where history, tragedy, and imagination all meet, creating a patch of land that feels touched by something larger than life. Over time, the Bridgewater Triangle has grown from local folklore into a cultural landmark. What began as a regional curiosity became, through repetition and retelling, one of the best-known paranormal hotspots in the United States. The triangle is now frequently called Massachusetts' Bermuda Triangle, a label that instantly conveys its mix of mystery, danger, and intrigue. For the communities inside its borders, the legend is part of local identity. Ghost tours wind through the towns of Bridgewater, Abington, and Rehoboth, highlighting sites like Profile Rock and the Hornbein Schoolhouse. Paranormal investigators descend on the Hockomock Swamp with cameras and recorders, hoping to capture proof of the strange lights and voices said to linger there. The area even inspired books such as Ghosts of the Bridgewater Triangle, as well as documentaries that blend witness testimony with recreations of reported sightings. In recent years, local libraries and community groups have hosted lectures on the subject, treating it as both history and folklore worthy of preservation. The Triangle's appeal lies in its diversity. Unlike single haunting cases or isolated cryptid sightings, the region offers something for everyone: ghosts, UFOs, strange animals, cult rumors, native legends, and unexplained deaths. This variety ensures that the legend never grows stale. A skeptic might dismiss Bigfoot but remain unsettled by the history of Taunton State Hospital. A UFO enthusiast might ignore tales of the Pukwudgies but latch onto decades of glowing orb sightings. By holding so many threads, the Triangle allows each visitor or reader to find a piece that resonates. In popular media, the Bridgewater Triangle continues to thrive. Paranormal television programs return to it again and again, drawn by its reputation as a nexus of mysteries. Articles and podcasts use it as shorthand for a paranormal zone, a place where the unusual isn't the exception, but the expectation. Even skeptics who argue the Triangle is nothing more than stitched together folklore can't deny its staying power. Folklore, after all, survives because it speaks to the imagination. And in the Triangle, imagination finds plenty of fuel. For locals, the legend is both a point of pride and unease. Many grow up hearing about the swamp, the lights, and the strange creatures, whether they believe or not. The stories seep into the culture of southeastern Massachusetts, shaping how people talk about their home. Ask a resident about the Bridgewater Triangle, and even the most skeptical will usually know the stories. In that sense, the Triangle has succeeded in becoming more than a paranormal label. It's a living piece of regional heritage. Today, the Bridgewater Triangle continues to draw attention not because of any single event, but because of its mosaic of mysteries. Each story adds a layer, and together they create a legend larger than any one haunting or sighting. That legend, fueled by history, media, and imagination, ensures that the Bridgewater Triangle remains one of America's most enduring centers of the unexplained.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Do you love the strange, the unexplained, and the downright terrifying? Horrifying History takes you on a chilling journey into the dark corners of the past, where history and horror collide. From haunted places and ghostly legends to unsolved mysteries and terrifyingly true stories, you will uncover the twisted facts that history books leave out. Who were the real monsters behind infamous legends? What dark secrets lie buried in the pages of history? Every episode, we reveal the eerie truths that will send shivers down your spine. Are you brave enough to face the darkness? Horrifying History Available now wherever you listen to your podcasts. But don't wait for too long. The past might just come looking for you. Listen if you dare.
What strikes me about the Bridgewater Triangle is how a place can carry stories the way a person carries scars. When you walk through the Hockomock Swamp or stand at Profile Rock, you're not just seeing trees and stone, you're standing where centuries of belief, tragedy, and rumor have gathered. The land feels layered, not only with soil and water, but with memory. And whether or not every sighting or story is true, the effect is the same. The triangle becomes less about proving the supernatural and more about how history and imagination shape our relationship with place. There's a kind of weight to the idea that the ground itself can hold meaning. For the Wampanoag, the swamp was sacred. For colonists, it was cursed. For modern ghost hunters, it's a stage where every shadow might be more than it seems. Each generation projects its fears and its fascinations onto the same stretch of land, and in doing so, the triangle grows. That's why it doesn't fade the way some legends do. It adapts, it absorbs, it endures. When I think about the triangle, I imagine standing alone in those woods as night falls. The air heavy with fog, the trees pressing in, the sound of water moving somewhere just out of sight. In that moment, even the most rational mind might feel unsettled. Because the mystery isn't only in the stories we've heard, it's in the atmosphere itself, the way a place can make us doubt what's real. The Bridgewater Triangle may never give us clear answers. Skeptics will point to swamp gas, misidentified animals, and folklore stitched together. Believers will continue to see lights, hear voices, and glimpse creatures in the dark. The truth likely lies somewhere in between. But what's undeniable is the triangle's ability to capture the imagination, to remind us that some places feel different, heavier, as though they carry the residue of all that has happened there. That, I think, is the real power of the Bridgewater Triangle. Not just the stories of ghosts or monsters, but the way it forces us to confront the possibility that mystery isn't always out there in the stars. Sometimes it's right beneath our feet. That brings us to the end of episode 41 of The Dark Record. We've journeyed through the swamps, forests, and towns of southeastern Massachusetts, where the Bridgewater Triangle has built its reputation as one of America's strangest regions. From UFOs glowing in the night sky to cryptid creatures lurking in the trees, from haunted landmarks to folklore carried down through generations, the Triangle endures as a place where the line between history and legend is never clear. Whether you see it as folklore stitched together or a genuine hotspot of the unexplained, its mysteries remain part of the landscape itself, remembered, retold, and now added to the record. Next time, we'll travel to England for a story out of the 19th century, a chilling account of a vampire said to stalk the countryside near an old estate. It's a tale that has haunted folklorists and storytellers alike. We'll explore the Crogland Grange vampire. Until then, I'm Lyle Perez, and this has been the Halloween Podcast presenting The Dark Record. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. It helps keep the show alive and weird. You can also explore sources, extras, and more at our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Halloween Podcast or at our website, thehalloweenpodcast.com. Thanks for listening. Keep your eyes on the shadows, and remember, in the Bridgewater Triangle, the line between legend and reality disappears into the mist. Have a good night.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Do you love the strange, the unexplained, and the downright terrifying? Horrifying History takes you on a chilling journey into the dark corners of the past, where history and horror collide. From haunted places and ghostly legends to unsolved mysteries and terrifyingly true stories, you will uncover the twisted facts that history books leave out. Who were the real monsters behind infamous legends? What dark secrets lie buried in the pages of history? Every episode, we reveal the eerie truths that will send shivers down your spine. Are you brave enough to face the darkness? Horrifying History, available now wherever you listen to your podcasts. But don't wait for too long. The past might just come looking for you. Listen if you dare.